servants' hall too. Rosina needed to get back inside soon, but she wanted these last few moments of peace to herself. Peace from the busy household and all its demands, but peace too from the historic moment that was about to be played out on the wireless. For the family and servants were all gathered for one reason only: to hear the Prime Minister announce what they had all feared for months. Rosina finished her cigarette and stubbed it out on the stone wall. She didn't wish to litter the rose bed, so took it in with her and dropped it in the ashtray on the hall table that was emptied periodically. She could hear the girls inhabit the house. They weren't making much noise, yet their presence was as obvious as sound to their mother. For mothers are always on duty when their children are around, even if they're not doing much, even if they're asleep, even if they're grown up. Rosina was happy to have her brood all back under one roof. It didn't happen much these days, what with Grace down at Oxford and Evelyn over in France until recently, while Constance and the twins Daisy and Dora were mostly away at school. She'd need to walk the house over to summon all 5 of them, or send 1 or 2 to find the others. She found Grace at the writing desk in the window of the study. A quick look over her shoulder confirmed that her eldest daughter was working on her modern rewrite of the Greek myths. She'd just finished her degree in classics, and her head was still buried in that ancient world. "It's nearly time, darling," Rosina said. Grace looked up, her grey-blue eyes concerned, her long, straight, russet-brown hair draped in a curtain across her back. "All right, Mummy," she said and nodded, placing the lid carefully on her ink pen. She looked younger than her 21 years, and seemed younger too, Rosina thought. 3 years at Oxford had seemed to have had little impact on her experience of life. She was still the reserved, modest girl she had been when she'd left school. Rosina walked back out into the hallway and along the corridors to the stairs, past the lounge, through whose windows the sun now streamed in defiance of the sea fret. She took the steps up to the small landing, standing beneath the stained glass window there, the coat of arms of her family name, Lazenby, emblazoned in rich coloured panes. "Evie!" she called. "All right, Mummy," came her second daughter's strident voice from the room on the first floor that had once been the playroom and had now become the art studio when Evelyn was home. "Is Connie with you?" Rosina called. "Yes, driving me mad with her incessant ball-throwing against this wall." "I am not driving you mad," Rosina heard Constance's throaty voice exclaim. "You said the rhythm helps you concentrate, you big fat liar." "Oh, do shut up, Connie," snapped Evelyn. Always at each other's throats, those two. Yet when it came to boys, they were thick as thieves and knew all of each other's secrets. Rosina walked upstairs and stood in the doorway, noting the floor strewn with paint tubes, brushes, canvas and paper. Evelyn looked up at her mother and said, "We're coming! Don't fuss!" She was a messy genius, that one. 19, going on 29, with strawberry blonde hair and a freckled peachy complexion. A lipstick-wearing, cigarette-smoking, adventure-seeking beauty. Rosina smiled and shook her head, glad, in a way, that Evelyn had been in France for a year, beyond her mother's reach, where she had had little knowledge of what scrapes her daughter had got herself into, and thus could only worry vaguely from a distance. Constance started up her ball-throwing again, and the ball hit the wall hard, straight and true. The girl had an excellent aim. At 16, she was captain of the lacrosse and hockey teams, as well as a keen shot-putter. Stocky and strong, she had none of Grace's tall, gangly frame or Evelyn's curves. Her straw-coloured hair in a perpetual bob since she was 8, she despised preening or makeup of any kind. Still striking in her way, her skin creamy, pale and freckled, she would be the perfect model for a government poster about rude health. Rosina chuckled at the thought. "Come on, you two, and clean up that mess on the floor later, Evie. The last thing we need is paint stains on the carpet." She went